farmer friend, singer-songwriter Lyle Strickland.
And that's farmer friend and jack of all trades Chris Horn.
And we're Those Taste Bud Guys.
We're making it up as we go. As normal, we just kind of do whatever it is we do. Hello, beautiful people. How are you? Okay, so if you watched the last episode, you know that this is Benny Lewis, and he is for you. Oh, I'm not Lyle. That's not Chris. So he's... Oh, we've been drinking a lot. Okay, so he's from Devil's Canyon Homebrew and Winery, and Danny's come up here and he's been talking to us a little bit about making his own brew, making his own wine, and then he got talking about that peach jalapeno or habanero, which was jalapeno. Peach jalapeno. We thought, man, that sounds good. And in between, we had this bottle of Shine sitting here that Danny didn't make. We don't know who made it. We're not going to say who made it. It's a barrel-aged Shine, that's why it's all dark.
Both of you guys got glasses. You're not going to get them.
And we decided since we're doing homebrew, we might as well have that on here as well. So we might review us some Shine while we're talking about Danny's beer.
Yeah.
So here we go.
All right, there's your Shine back. So, want to break in with the IPA or the peach jalapeno?
I think the peach one, because the IPA, if it's very hoppy,
it's going to wreck your palate.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do Mcelroy. What's the name behind that one?
Ken Mcelroy. Well, I grew up in Northwest Missouri, and there was a small town, Skidmore, Missouri, which was not far from the town I grew up in. Ken Mcelroy was the town bully, and
what's the Buzz McAllister?
He basically robbed and plundered and stuff like that, and they actually shot him in the middle of the day in 1981.
What's the they made a documentary about it, right?
Called In Broad Daylight.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I remember this. And the whole town just said,
the whole town went silent. Yeah. And still to this day, nobody's been charged for his murder. But ironically, I'm from Lebanon now, and ironically, his wife moved to Lebanon. And so, I just thought I'll name this beer now.
They're just poking bears. Yeah. All right, cool.
So it's McElroy. I said McElroy because I'm an idiot.
Either one.
Anyways,
they both work.
Okay.
So
smell that.
Well, I don't have to smell it because I already tasted it.
Holy
smokes. But I didn't taste the beer.
But now here's the thing.
Because it was very...
Just the head?
Just the head. Well, just the tip.
How was the head, Lyle?
Just the tip of the head.
How was the head? Hey, so before we do that, now you said, well, in the last episode, this one was made with an extract. So you didn't go with the jalapenos?
No, I used jalapenos in it, but I used peach extract.
Okay, what does that mean as far as...
Is it like a mash of like peaches?
Yeah, it was basically like it was a really thick syrup. I assume it was boiled down from...
Yeah, but it's probably started out being peaches, right?
Yeah, it was a natural extract.
I mean, the peaches, the flavor is there.
They strained all the fuzz.
Yeah.
So I haven't I haven't tried this. This was actually my first whiff of the nose. So it was really foamy coming out.
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
I might have called it mango.
Is there a reason for that? Why some beers do that and some others don't? Why the head
just the
level of carbonation?
Level of carbonation, and the lower your alcohol content, the higher your carbonation levels will be. And this is, I started putting the ABV. This is 5.5.
Okay.
So it's fairly low. I mean, I guess you can call it a midstream.
We might have to,
but it's kind of low. So yeah, make it a true town bully.
So let me ask this. Let's say we're drinking this. I really like this one. But let's say as we're testing it, and we go, okay, I like the flavor, I like all that, but I want a little bit more in the body, or maybe there's a little something, you want more peach or what. What would you do at that point as a home brewer to make that adjustment? How big of a deal is that to go through and change what you're doing?
It wouldn't be a big deal, but that's actually something that I've started working on. A lot of your body contributes from your water profile, which I'm on a well. I have well water, and I haven't really done a whole lot with water profile. But I had recently had my water tested and bought a water profile kit where I can test it again myself and start building my own profiles. Like, I mean, a lot of beer styles are designed by their water profile, like how much calcium or magnesium or
Cores.
Yeah.
I have always heard that, like talking to local brewers at the local breweries, like the one thing I've always found fascinating is they're always in these like city centers, and they just nerd out over their like water systems, right? Like it just it's insane the amount of money that they go to spend to get essentially
to add stuff back into it.
What you're making with well water.
That I'm trying to get out of my house because it's ruining my faucets.
Yeah.
Great for beer, bad for dishwashers.
But you can actually bring flavors out in your water profile that if you build your profile right to bring extra flavors out. To bring
a thicker body.
Yeah. And I mean, they've got historic water profiles like your Burton and Trent, and Pilsner has a specific water profile that you're supposed to follow.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I always heard that Pilsner's lager is the hardest thing to brew because it's the cleanest beer and the most specific taste that you've got to get to. That's accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty true.
See, without having known anything about brewing whatsoever, my first original thought process was everybody starts with the lager because that's going to be the easiest because there's no taste to it.
Yeah.
No taste to it. Forgive me for
it's just offending a whole catalog of
Forgive me for the purist, but I'm not a lager guy. And then I couldn't find out since that's not, and it makes perfect sense why that's not the case, because you're adding nothing, there's nothing to hide. There's nothing you can hide.
So what is the best beer to start out with? We talked last time that
I heard it was brats.
Extracts are a good way to get going. Yeah. And if you are completely oblivious, start with one of those box kits. And just do the box kit and then go.
Ales are basically your easiest beers to brew because they require the least amount of time fermenting and aging and things like that. And they don't require the clarity that a lager or a pilsner. So
you would say an India Pale Ale would be decent to start with?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, we've got this barrel-aged shine over here. It's kind of like the predecessor to this real whiskey. Like, say, Wood Hat Spirits whiskey. So if you want some real, really good Missouri whiskey that kind of got their stuff together, this is one for you.
It is fantastic, and I think you were just a hair breadth away from doing that commercials. You're so Shane Wow's just
I'm hoping I'm like one paycheck away, because I'd sure like to get paid for that. Somebody that wants to.
No, I will say Wood Hat. Have you had Wood Hat whiskey?
I'm not sure if I had it.
If
I had it, I would just come over here.
It is.
I know you're not going to like it,
Fantastic.
But nobody's going to hold it against you for not liking it.
Okay, so this is not just an IPA. This is wow.
Did you say roasted? Now this is it.
Set it and forget it. The nose on this. No, this is an IPA, but it's a smash IPA, which means single malt and single hop, right? Okay. So I guess first things first.
All my single malts are aged about 20 years.
I know.
What malt? Sent over from Scotland.
What malt and what hop did you use?
I used pale ale malt and Cascade hop.
Okay. The nose on this,
I was like, there's like no hoppy, big, kicky around nose that I can find.
It's almost floral.
Yeah. So I don't understand hops and all that stuff. Cascade hop, is there a profile about that the person should know?
It's basically, hops are, they're based on alpha acids, that's your bittering agent.
Yeah.
In your hops. And Cascade was the best one that I could find that fit bittering, aroma, which that gives you your floral smell and taste, and dry hop. Just that gives you your IPA characteristic.
Yeah.
The IPA taste. So.
This is incredibly well balanced. Really malty. I like that. I was gonna say, as soon as I took a sip, I was like, "This is a Chris IPA," but I don't hate it.
Now this one's got all those grainy characteristics that I really like. That kind of makes you think about walking out there in the silo and smelling all the molasses and the stuff out in the barn. And yeah, no, I really enjoy that kind of flavor profile. But the nose completely betrays it. I wouldn't even have thought there'd been a hop at all in by the nose. So really
No, I fully.
The main hops you smell on, or the only thing you smell on there is basically the dry hop characteristics.
the little kid in me still gave it very my hair dry hop. You knew what I meant. Didn't you? You know exactly what I meant. Got a lot of natural Missouri homegrown stuff here in front of me.
Hey, it ain't bad.
Yep.
Just spike it up a little bit.
Let's talk about this real quick. So we're never going to get a full review on this, but since we're talking about homebrew stuff,
You like Shine there?
I do like Shine. Yeah.
so
And Shine is like such a loaded term these days, right? Because there's not just like the jarred moonshines that you buy at the liquor store that are actually just like young whiskeys.
smoky.
But I wasn't going to name names.
I'm going to name names. It's the most popular one out there. There's no reason not to point them out.
That's fair. But beyond that, even
24% or something.
yeah, it's a liqueur. I think most of them are. But even people doing it at home, a lot of the like big trends on apple pie shine and these like sweeter shines, which are delicious. I personally still think are
So
hard to call
1920 still.
shines.
Yeah.
Like I think that it needs to be. It needs to,
No, I know.
as it says.
Because when they brought the bottle in, they told me, and I wrote it down on the top of it.
I think it needs to be strong. I mean, what's your definition of shine? What makes you go like this is a good shine?
Well, I mean, growing up, the first shines I drank were like just basically like your grain alcohol, clear shine.
Yeah.
I mean, and that
White label.
Which incidentally is still my favorite.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that's still my absolute favorite.
That's my favorite too. And so when somebody says shine, that's where my brain goes.
Yeah.
As I think it should.
But I do,
Just personally.
I do like the commercial shine and things like that. But, and people like the apple pie, I don't have a problem.
I would go to
Like
apple pie shine. Oh,
Yeah.
So I guess my thing with them is we get offered a lot of different shines here and there from various sources. There's a very large stigma about being able to make them, have them, or not. And depending on the state you're in, it may or may not be legal to own or produce. Most states you're allowed a certain
but you can make very large batches of perfume.
Yes. Well, you're allowed a certain amount for your home. Now you need to check that for your state. Be sure. But oh yes, Peanut Gallery had some too. He was on that camera to see. So it kind of depends. You're never allowed to sell it. You're not really allowed to give it away necessarily. I didn't make this one, so it happens.
This one just showed up at our doorstep.
Found this one.
Yeah.
Looks like rainwater.
Yeah.
Ran off wood. Anyways, I don't know. I mean, I like this one. This one was aged in a barrel. I don't know
This
anything
one's
about the
quite
barrel. It is really good. It's got some tannins in it. It's got some different flavors. It's ridiculously smooth. It was made in a still. It's been running since 1920s. There's some cool provenance that goes with it. End of the day, I think I still prefer just the plain old clear white stuff. But I mean, if you guys get a chance, shine is not necessarily going to make you go blind the second you drink it. Some of it's really, really good.
Yeah. Yes, it can be very, very good and very almost as varied as like homebrew beers. I would say
Mhm.
it's that distinctive flavor profiles.
It's a good
I
way
agree.
of bringing that back around. It's like you got that infomercial right there.
No, Danny, this that beer was great.
If you, before you, you know you're getting ready to wrap this up, so before you do,
Oh yeah.
real quick on that wine, we had in the last episode, you noticed we had a nice dark red that was the rose petal. Dadgummit, say it, Danny. What is it?
Is rose hip.
Rose hip wine, which is a darker wine. This one here, I didn't even look to it was apple.
It's like a country one.
But now, I believe you told me that these come from extracts, right? These
Yeah,
are-
I make these from kit. I've made all my wines from kit. But I've recently bought a crusher and a press. So
Okay.
I'm always on the lookout for fresh fruit and gonna start
Moving that way.
moving that way.
I want you to make me a pawpaw one.
So,
Pawpaw wine, you bet. Yeah.
So guys, if you've been thinking about the home brewing, you've been thinking about making your own wine, it can be done. It's right here in front of you. You can go very simple. You can go with extracts. You can go with more complicated versions of sourcing all your own goods. It's there in front of you. I encourage you to go out and give it a shot if you're interested in that kind of thing.
Honestly, we would,
It's
but
really
we know Danny, so
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier than what you think.
yeah. And you're still up for any sort of questions or anything? You can
Yeah.
find Danny on Facebook at Devil's Canyon Homebrew and Winery.
And Instagram.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just delicious stuff.
Just
man.
great.
I'm
It's fun.
so excited.
It's
Also,
good fun. You can have
I had
brewing
this
parties.
dill pickle sour.
Make your friends come over and like a can.
That's right. Yeah.
Free booze. Yeah. Yeah. Do you do the feet crushing with wine? No.
I don't.
Thank God. Thank you. All right. Until next time.
Whether it's a drink you've been interrupted from,
The food you're eating,
clothes you're wearing,
or the people you're meeting, grab a buddy and try something new.